Alright everyone, welcome to the first NoLimits2 tutorial of the year. So basically, it's been Christmas time and Hanukkah and whatever other holiday you might celebrate, and a lot of you may have gotten NoLimit2. So I've had a lot of requests to do a tutorial series, and today we're going to start with the basics. We'll just make a basic wooden coaster. So we want to start by clicking the editor button, and sometimes will pop up some little tip, okay, make it go away. And then you want to click File. Come on. And then you want to click New. And then you want to name your park Tutorial. Okay. And you want to pick the folder it goes in. I put all my parks on a different drive, so mine works differently than y'all's. Put it wherever you want. So that's okay. You want to click OK, and then yes, and it will create your park. Blah 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 blah. And you want to click Coaster, New Coaster, and we'll just call it Wooden Tutorial Coaster. Okay. Coaster properties. We're making a basic wooden coaster, so we'll just give it. There we go. So then we want to click. You want most people Heartline of current coaster style. It makes it smoother. We want. Let's go 7 cars on a train. That sounds about right. No, let's go 6, and we can always add more later. All right, so you want to click OK to close that, and you want to go up here. And some people, there's a way you can split this perspective into having 4 perspectives at a time to make your screen really small and hard to see. By picking your angle, we're going to go from the front. So right now we are looking at our graph, and if you older people here know, you'll know what I'm talking about, and some of you younger kids, here you have your x-axis, here you have your y-axis, and right here in the middle, coming towards you and going away from you, is your slot. Okay. So you want to select the track tab and click on Start Vertex, and we want to put our first vertex somewhere kind of above the ground, and then we want to slope it because this will be our station area. So give it a nice decent slope. Go. I forgot I was zoomed out a lot. Make sure you don't do what I just did. I was zoomed out way too much. That would have been bad. Okay. Now I'm zoomed in again. Okay. Let's do that again. There we go. You want to be able to see the spleen right above there. And I have the up here there's a speed comb, and if you hover over it, it tells you the speed. And this is the G-force. You can hover over it, it tells you the G-force and radius and all that. And it's a little steep right there for. There we go. You want to insert some vertexes to help keep the track straight and smooth. You want to highlight all of it and click straight from 2D front. It'll make it straight from the view, and on the top view it is also straight. Excellent. So what we want to do now is begin making a turn. We're just going to do a small turn and do it with brakes. Now turns can be pretty difficult, but after you deform however you like to however you like it, and do that. And you usually want a couple points at least on a turn to make it nice and smooth. And let's see here. Go to the left view or right view, either one. And you can feel free to do whatever I'm doing. I'm just kind of making a nice turn. It's going to be kind of sloped a little bit. I'm in the perspective view here. You can kind of fly around. You can see that the track is in the ground. So what you want to do is go back, highlight the pieces, and lift it up a bit. And there you go. Nice and smooth. Also, what you could do is you want to do this. As you can tell, if you look at it, my first 20 were not depumped, and they were the worst coasters you'd ever seen. And now that I've learned how to make coasters properly and depump them and stuff, it makes them a lot better. I mean, you need to. And you want to make sure all the vertices that you want to be straight are straight. There we go. And now we can begin shaping the lift hill. So go to left view or right view. Either one is fine. I don't care which one you use. And you want to select that arrow point so that way it'll screw up the way the piece of track turns. I don't know why it does that, but it does. We're just gonna make it's not a super steep lift hill, but you really don't really have to do much. We'll make it 130 feet. Sounds good. Why not? Okay. So we have the crest of the lift hill. Now you may notice the lift hill looks really nasty and wavy. I'll fix that in a second. We don't need to worry about that. Now we're not making a classic wooden coaster drop because, as you can tell, it's not straight. A wooden coaster drop is like straight like that, but this is more like the Voyages drop, something like that. So you can tell that it's at least a modern wooden coaster, sort of. And now you guys didn't see what I did. What I did was I highlighted this and I hit the straight button to make it a nice straight lift hill. And I want to go on the top view, make sure it's straight, and it is. And now we want to get out our roll panel. This controls the tilt of the track. And I'm on track view right now. So before the turn, I want to put a roll marker, and to open the panel, you want to double click it and it pops this up. And I usually put it in my corner, and you want to hit 0, and then if you hit strict, it keeps it from rotating behind it and in front of it. Because if it's not strict, it'll like twist around back behind it, and it makes me mad. So do the same on the other end of the turn. There you go. And then we want to go to left view again. And wherever you want the chain lift to start, you want to select type separator and click there. Make sure it puts a separator there. You want to go up where the lift will end. And you want to do that same thing. You want to highlight the section of track by just clicking on it. You want to click section type. You want to click lift. You want to click type settings. Name it. We'll just call it lift. And I'll put 1 just in case for some reason we put a second one, but we probably won't. And you get to choose, do you want the motor at the start or the end? That means top or bottom. And then here you get to select your speed. Let's go 8. Sounds good to me. And you can pick your acceleration, how fast you want the lift hill to pick up speed. Like when it turns on, how fast it takes for the lift to turn on and then turn off. And after you pick your motor position, like the acceleration, the speed, and name, you're good, and you want to click OK. Good. Lift hill is done. Look at that. Easy. Almost looks like a B&M Hyperdrop. Okay. So now we want to work. Actually, did we depump the drop yet? We did not. Highlight pretty much the whole drop, and then hit the depump button. It'll just make your drop look nicer and more realistic. And then you want to make the lift hill straight again, just like we did before. Feel free to go back and rewind and make sure you're doing this right. Make sure you're not like misunderstanding anything. Okay, so now we're gonna go into a overbank curve. Yeah, overbank curve. Why not? Okay, so you want to start here. You want to make sure you select that, and then you want to select add vertex. You want to start turning, and as this will be an overbank curve, so at the top the track will be a little bit tighter, and then it'll you want to try to mirror this image over here if you can, which is what I'm trying to do. And then this piece comes right there, and the next vertice is over here. So I just mirrored this piece, basically, from just looking at it. And it's an overbank curve, so pick your height. Feel free to copy whatever I'm doing. It's a tutorial. That's what tutorials are supposed to be for. And this is going to be a high-speed overbank curve, so it's going to be kind of low to the ground. And now I'm going to begin making an airtime hill using the shape of the drop. There we go. Always, the more vertices, the better, is what you want to always run through your head. As you can tell there, that is a little rough. Too much airtime. I never knew. Okie dokie. As you can tell, there's a nice pop of airtime here in the G-forces, and it's not too strong either. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do the D-pump, and then we're going to do some banking as well. So select that, and we'll go into this view. Whenever I D-pump, I'll put it in this view before I hit the D-pump button, so I can see what it changes. And you want to hit element and then D-pump, and then it'll move it out of the way so I can see what changes. And it looks pretty much the same, but just smoother. And you want to make sure, whenever you D-pump, it kind of shifts stuff around, so you want to do the make straight again, just to be sure it's not all twisty. Or, well, it's a coaster, it's supposed to be, but not too twisty. And then right here we'll put a strict vertice, and right here we'll put a strict vertice. And at the top it's going to be 90 degrees, and on the side it's probably going to be 45. Or we'll just hit no lateral G-force, and it banks it to what it likes to be, which usually is better. As you can tell, it looks like a nice overbank curve. Looks very nice. And we can run through it on the track, and it should look pretty smooth. If it doesn't look really smooth, you're doing something wrong. So be sure to make sure it's smooth. Yes, yes, yes. Looks nice. Oh, you want to check the G-forces. G-forces look good. I'm going to make it a little bit more than 90. I'm going to make it 100. Or actually, you can always hit no lateral G-force. And it recommends 110 like I was going to do. So, okay. I'll keep it like that then. Sometimes the wooden supports will get in your face, but I'll get to that later. Alright, that's a nice pop of ejector airtime right there. And what it always does, it makes that turn there not flat. But I'll just drag it to wherever you want it to be. And there you go. And what we did forget to do was build the station, which is what you usually want to do first. And you also want to periodically hit the save button, which is under the file tab. Periodically hit that save button. So, right, there we go. You want to select that, hit station, open type settings, name it station. And if you're going to have a loading station and an unloading station, which will be for another tutorial, you just want to keep it the way it is. You just want to keep it the way it is for now, because we'll get into that in a more difficult tutorial with a dual loading station steel coaster. Pick the wait times you want for the coaster to have. We'll have a mid-course breaker in here so we can let the coaster dispatch quicker. And brake device, it's a wooden coaster, just regular old friction brakes is fine with me. And I don't. The whole reason of making the station elevated and going at an anchor device, because it's an old wooden coaster. So, put any driving devices. Alright. So yes, that was nice and smooth and perfect and everything. So now what can we do? Let's see. So we have an overbank curve, an airtime hill. We could do like a helix right here. That'd be nice and fitting right here in this corner. Ooh. Yeah, that'd be nice. Helixes are difficult sometimes. Sometimes. Actually, we don't really have too much space because the coaster is going pretty fast. So another thing you could do, which is what we're going to do, is make like a half turn, and it's going to fly over the lift hill. And then under. And one of you is commenting on my video a lot, because that phone is going insane. Okay. Boom. So we kind of have a big turn there. It doesn't look completely shaped properly, but that's okay. It's supposed to be like that. And from this angle, from the front angle, we want to elevate this because it's going to be like a bank curve. And then you want to select that. Nope, no, didn't want to do that. Sometimes you have to go into the back view. Back view will work. But sometimes you have to go to the perspective view to adjust the track to the way you want it to be. We can go back to front view now. Maybe. No, we have to go into perspective view for this. Anyway, what we want to do is make it go up over the lift hill. So basically what we're doing is just making a big helix. Sort of. It's not like a normal helix, because normal helixes kind of stay low to the ground. This is a big, tall, helixy helix. So basically it's going to fly up over the lift hill and then dive under it. Like that. You want to hit that no lateral G-force button right there. Also, before the curve, you want to put a strict marker at 0. And after, you want to put one down that's at no lateral G-force. And somewhere in the middle, you want to put one at no lateral G-force. And as you can tell, that looks pretty okay from this view, actually. I thought it would look bad. Excuse me. But it looks okay. And now we can depump. So let's do that. It should look a lot better, and it'll be a lot smoother once we depump it. Oh yes. So it kind of pulls in kind of hard, and then it kind of goes up a little bit, and then it banks really, really steeply as it dives under itself here. I'm going to push the no lateral G-force button on that turn. And then you want to drag this up a little bit before we actually make more track. And then we want to hit the add vertice button and try to make it as flat as you can. And there you go. Now we're going to add another airtime hill. A really big ejector hill. So we're going to go up, make it flat, and then go down again. And make sure you don't accidentally click from here. See how now it moved over to that one. You want to make sure that your line is coming out of your arrow, not your block. Your square. That's the square. That's the end of the track. And this is the beginning. So make sure you're doing that properly. So see, that looks really cool. I like that. Now as you can see here, we have a problem. Problemo. That ain't good. So we're just going to make this airtime hill bigger. That's all we got to do. This one's going to be more floater, I believe, because of the way... Yeah, it might still be ejector. It's actually still pretty intense. That's good. And this time it should be, oh yeah, well over. Let me select all the vertices that we just made. Go ahead and hit the depump vertices button. Tell it looks much, much better. We want to straighten that out. We're actually not going to have a mid-course breaker on this ride. There's not much point for this. So, let's see here. I think we can make a couple more pops of airtime and then head into the brakes. So, right here at the bottom, we want to turn that because we want it to start turning before the drop is over. And Boom. So what we're going to do now is make this into a pop of airtime. And we're going to make another turn. Surprise, surprise. It's a really bad looking turn. So just drag your vertices, make sure they're the way you want them. We can make a small overbank curve out of this if we do it right. That looks nice. And then right there is where we're again going back into more airtime. We can just make another identical airtime hill. Not. There we go. And that should look pretty nice. Be sure to hit your save button a couple times in case you have a power issue. That would really stink. There should be at least... forgot. Gotta do this first. And at the bottoms of the curve, you want to bank it with the with the vertice button, and then you want to do this. And it's still being stupid. Okay, so we're just gonna make it 90 degrees and see what it does. Wants it to be 99. Well, we'll do that. And that's depumping. Whee! Alright. Boom. Only 90 degrees now, huh? Okay. Let's see how this looks. Didn't I say this was going to be a classic hoodie originally? It's like a... No, it wasn't classic. I remember talking about the drop. It wasn't, I was talking about not having a steep lift hill because that's not realistic, really, unless it's like an RMC, because other coasters don't do that. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to make that like a little hill, but it's going to begin to curve at the bottom, and it's going to hit the brakes. Whoa. See what I mean? Just did that. Okay. Let's go ahead and shape that there. Alright. And right there, 45 degrees looks fine. Alright, now we're going to do the brakes. So, type separator there, and select it, section type, brake, type settings, end, brakes. And we want that to be about, there's a tight turn after it, so let's put 5 miles an hour. I'll put the deceleration at 1 and see if that's enough to slow it down. Almost enough, almost enough. As you can see here, though, we don't have to worry about it that much, because there we go. We don't have to worry about it too much because it wasn't actually going to screw us up. And now the brakes, the brake run is at a proper angle. And we put this here too soon. And I believe that the brakes are good. If we check the speed, yep, perfect. So we're almost done with the coaster here. Yeah, you people are insane. You want to highlight them both, hit connect, delete one of those to make it smooth. And you want to make that straight, 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 straight. And then after hitting that straight vertice button, you'll notice that it is straight right there. We want to depump that turn just so it's not like ugh and stuff. You want to make that straight and that straight. And we'll run 2 trains on this. Well, yeah, we'll run 2. And you want to center the brakes. Actually, if we're only running 2, you don't have to center it. You want to put that at about 2. B4 station. And let's put 10 miles an hour. Should be the limit on speed for that. Next, after hitting the save button, you want to hit supports, 1 generator, generate final, and you want to turn that off. And pick your type. I steeple because it looks the nicest. And you want to color it, just brown. Everything brown. I'm going to have light blue trains. You want the seat to be black. Lap bars on PTC trains are usually either black or orange. I'm going to have these ones be black. And the bogie and chassis are always black. Supports are brown. Handrails are brown. Catwalks are brown. And then you want to hit the freeze button. Alright, guys, thank you so much for watching me build the coaster. It was awesome. It was fun to make. It's a nice little coaster. And to finish it up, you want to click File, Leave Editor, Save, Yes. And all you have to do is click play, and you have your coaster. So thank you guys so much for watching.